Hey yogis, Shan here at Practice Indy in our cute new tanks, which we only have like 3 more of, so get on it. This week we are looking at plank, Kumbhakasana, I believe, but could have messed that up. And so plank is just a general calisthenic exercise thing, pose that you will see all the time, and people tend to either love it or hate it. And it's fantastic for strength building. It's fantastic for learning how to maintain neutral spine, but when done too much incorrectly or just incorrectly, it can cause some issues. I hear a lot of complaints about wrist pain, about all sorts of stuff, about back pain, about not being able to sustain it. So we're just gonna look at the pose with curious lenses today and give you some considerations from the very basic to a little bit more advanced if you're looking to find a new edge in your plank. So you will need a mat and 2 blocks. I'm gonna grab my blocks and we'll meet on the mat. Oh, and did I mention you'll need a chair? So we're gonna start out for those of you that find this more challenging, as well as those of you who have wrist issues. So coming down into tabletop, plank is a neutral spine pose. That means we're trying to, unless we're using it in service to something like press to handstand, for the most part we're trying to maintain a natural curve in our cervical spine, a natural curve in our thoracic, and a natural in our lumbar. So I'm going to start in tabletop without the blocks, trying to find that. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders, and then seeing if I might even take my phone and take pictures or have somebody tell me, but I'm trying to find crown of the head and a plumb line, or like I'm on a spit. And that's gonna dictate neutral spine curves in relativity. Okay, so here I'm hugging the navel gently up and in, but I'm not pushing the floor away. This would be more of a kyphotic spinal curve, and we're not looking for that necessarily in just a general plank. So if this is hard already, that's your plank. Work there. To increase difficulty, we move the center of the foundation back, or we spread it out. So hands down, knees under hips, feels good. I'm gonna take those knees back, but then again, try to maintain neutral curves. Now you'll see I'm tucking my toes. I may take my knees back, and then try to maintain neutral curves. You can also play around with starting to lift one leg or the other. And here we are in plank. People tend to let their head drop in plank, so that's the #1 thing I would take a picture of or have somebody give you feedback on. Is my cervical spine natural? Am I dropping my head or looking up? Think about it, it's 8 pounds. That's a lot of weight to add to your plank if it's not in alignment. Next thing we'll talk about are wrists. So if you're feeling a lot of wrist pain, it might just be how your wrists are made, that this full flex position isn't for you. One thing you can do is elevate it, so taking your hands wider and bringing them onto blocks. Just take some of that weight off of your wrists. Another thing you can do is grab the outer edges of your mat. Again, it's just changing the angle of the wrist flexion as well as the rotation, giving you a little break. There are also these things called wrist jellies or yoga jellies that are little discs you can put under your hands to help elevate and change that angle. You can also do that by folding a blanket over. If plank is something that's quite familiar to you, you can hold it for at least a minute. And we're going to start to talk about elevating that pose. Just like we did in tabletop, and then sneaking the legs back, maybe just one leg at a time. That can happen once you've graduated to holding for a full minute. You might work with trying to maintain neutral spine and walking your hands out far, which is like an ab roller, woo, shaking. Or you might work elevating your legs and coming into plank on a chair. These are some excellent strategies to play with plank. Please come to class this week to keep evaluating this pose. Above all, take breaks. This pose can invite a lot of Rajasic or kind of aggressive energy of us trying to be over-exercisers, and I'd have you look at that. Take breaks, listen to your wrists, give yourself permission to not do every second of that plank hold. Doing a plank with more integrity but less time is going to yield more results or yield more benefits than doing a crappy plank and holding it through pain and discomfort. Those are some things to consider. Good luck out there, yogis. Namaste.